The constant hum of overthinking, that relentless chatter in your mind, isn't just a nuisance. It's a silent thief pilfering your tranquility and casting shadows of chaos across your inner landscape. It's incredibly easy to become ensnared in this tempest of thoughts, endlessly replaying past regrets, anxiously projecting into an uncertain future, or meticulously dissecting every facet of the present. If you're weary of feeling overwhelmed, perpetually tethered to a whirlwind of worries, and yearn for a profound sense of inner stillness, then this message is precisely for you. Buddhism, with its deep wellspring of ancient wisdom, offers timeless paths to liberate yourself from the suffocating grip of overthinking. Today we'll journey through not 6, but 8 transformative Buddhist principles designed to guide you toward a mind that is not only calmer and more peaceful, but fundamentally more aligned with your authentic self. Let's embark on this exploration together, unearthing the clarity and tranquility that lies within us all. 1. The present moment, the only reality that truly breathes. How often do we find ourselves consumed by echoes of the past, dwelling on what could have been, grappling with lingering regrets, or wistfully longing for moments long gone? Or perhaps we're perpetually trapped in the gravitational pull of the future, anxiously wondering what's next, anticipating every potential pitfall, or striving exhaustively to prepare for the great unknown. But the undeniable truth is starkly simple. The past has already dissolved into memory, and the future remains for now an unwritten chapter. Neither genuinely exists in your lived experience. The profound teachings of the Buddha consistently beckon us back to the singular importance of living in the present. As the Buddha wisely articulated, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. This isn't just an adage, it's an invitation to release the suffocating clutch of both historical burdens and speculative anxieties. Instead, it urges us to anchor ourselves firmly in the only dimension of time that holds undeniable reality now. Pause for a moment, sir. The very instant you are experiencing as these words resonate within you is the sole reality you possess. The present is the sacred ground where life truly unfolds, where genuine peace can be found if only you permit yourself to be utterly present, unburdened by the ghosts of yesterday or the shadows of tomorrow. When you consciously embrace the present moment, just as it is without resistance, overthinking naturally begins to recede, replaced by a profound sense of clarity and serene presence. Consider a poignant Buddhist anecdote. A seasoned monk once walked alongside his youthful disciple by a roaring river. The elder, with calm composure, effortlessly crossed the tumultuous waters. His disciple, however, remained paralyzed by a torrent of thoughts, consumed by the perceived danger of the crossing, fearful the rushing current might sweep him away. Noticing his disciple's profound hesitation, the monk gently offered, "My friend, the river flows eternally, yet the only way to truly cross it is to be fully present and trust in this very moment." This story serves as a timeless reminder that dwelling on past missteps or preemptively worrying about future obstacles only serves to prevent us from experiencing the richness and potential of the present moment. 2. Thoughts as fleeting clouds embrace non-attachment. We often feel utterly swamped by our thoughts, as if we're drowning in an endless deluge of mental chatter. The mind can become a chaotic maelstrom akin to a stormy sky, dense with dark, ominous clouds. Yet the Buddha offers a liberating perspective. He instructs us to perceive our thoughts not as solid, defining entities, but as ephemeral clouds drifting across the vast expanse of the sky, impermanent, fleeting, and in a constant state of transformation. He declared, "With our thoughts, we make the world." The profound insight here lies in understanding the critical difference between having thoughts and attaching to them, or worse, identifying with them. Just like those clouds, our thoughts arise and dissipate. They do not and cannot define the essence of who we are. When we consciously cease clinging to them, we sever their power over us. Imagine yourself seated quietly beside a river, simply observing the water flow past. You notice leaves floating downstream. Do you instinctively reach out to grasp and hold on to every single leaf? Of course not. You allow them to drift by, effortlessly knowing that countless more will follow. Similarly, cultivate the practice of allowing your thoughts to emerge and then gracefully recede. Resist the urge to cling to them or to exert control over their trajectory. Let them drift away unburdened like clouds carried by the wind, and you will discover that the relentless grip of overthinking naturally diminishes. The Buddha's timeless aphorism, "Our life is shaped by our mind, for we become what we think," profoundly reminds us that by consciously letting go of negative or excessively active thought patterns, we empower ourselves to sculpt a life imbued with greater clarity and profound peace. 3. Release control, the illusion of suffering. The more we incessantly think, the more we often suffer. We become entrapped in a futile attempt to meticulously analyze every conceivable outcome, to preemptively worry about every potential scenario, and to desperately cling to aspects of life that are fundamentally beyond our influence. This compulsive need for control inevitably generates escalating stress and anxiety. The Buddha famously stated, "Suffering is not caused by the events in our lives, but by our reaction to them." This radical insight underscores a crucial truth. It's not the external circumstances themselves that dictate our suffering, but rather the internal choices we make in how we respond to them. When we descend into spirals of overthinking and obsessively fixate on realities we simply cannot alter, we consciously invite unnecessary pain into our existence. Therefore, cultivating the profound act of letting go of the need to control everything is not merely beneficial, it is absolutely essential. Learn to embrace and accept what is, and consciously release the illusion of absolute control. This is a powerful, liberating step towards severing the debilitating cycle of overthinking. Ask yourself in moments of heightened anxiety, is this something I genuinely have the power to control? If the honest answer is no, then actively practice the art of letting it go. By surrendering the relentless need for control, you liberate your mind from the ceaseless, exhausting cycle of worry. A widely shared story by the renowned Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh vividly illustrates this principle. He spoke of an individual who persistently struggled, complained, and exerted every ounce of energy trying to push a massive boulder uphill. Despite the immense effort, the boulder remained stubbornly immobile. Thich Nhat Hanh simply inquired, "Why are you pushing a boulder that is not moving? Let go, and the path will become clear." This timeless lesson profoundly teaches us that overthinking and futilely fighting against the inherent reality of a situation only serve to exhaust our vital energy. Sometimes letting go of what we cannot change is the single most empowering act we can undertake. 4. Practice mindfulness. Anchor in the breath, silence. The mind mindfulness is a transformative practice of engaging your full attention to the present moment without the imposition of judgment. It's about becoming exquisitely aware of your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical sensations as they arise, but crucially, without allowing yourself to be swept away by their currents. One of the most accessible and profound ways to cultivate mindfulness is by intentionally focusing on your breath. Whenever you feel yourself becoming overwhelmed by a flood of thoughts, consciously return your awareness to your breath. Breathe in deeply, allowing your lungs to expand hold for a brief, intentional moment, and then slowly, deliberately exhale. Each breath becomes a deliberate anchor, rooting you firmly to the present moment, thereby allowing you to gently yet powerfully quiet the mind's incessant chatter. The Buddha observed the profound connection between our inner state and our physiological processes, stating when the mind is calm, the breath is calm. This aphorism reflects the intrinsic link between the tranquility of our mind and the natural rhythm of our breath. By intentionally anchoring ourselves in the flow of our breath, we possess the remarkable capacity to guide our mind into a state of profound peace, effectively halting the exhausting cycle of overthinking. Remember the powerful truth: the mind is everything what you think you become. By diligently practicing mindfulness and purposefully focusing on your breath, you actively train your mind to remain calm, focused, and centered. The more consistently you engage in this practice, the less power overthinking will exert over your inner world. 5. Embrace simplicity. Freedom from unnecessary worries. In a world relentlessly saturated with endless distractions, it's remarkably easy to overcomplicate life. We burden ourselves with worries about every facet of our existence: our careers, our relationships, our physical appearance, and the myriad uncertainties of the future. Yet Buddhism consistently teaches that simplicity is not a deprivation, but a profound key to unlocking genuine happiness and enduring peace. When we consciously choose to simplify our lives, we intrinsically release the immense burden of unnecessary worries. The Buddha frequently emphasized the paramount importance of simplicity, not only in our outward actions, but crucially in our internal thought patterns. In the Dhammapada, a collection of Buddhist verses, it is eloquently stated, "There is no path to happiness, happiness is the path." This profound teaching transcends the conventional understanding of happiness as a distant destination to be chased or meticulously overthought. Instead, it reveals that true happiness is discovered and cultivated within the simple, ordinary moments of everyday life. By simplifying our lives, by letting go of excess, by consciously decluttering our mental space, and by focusing intensely on what truly matters, we inherently liberate ourselves from the relentless cycle of overthinking. Zen monks for centuries have lived by a principle known as shabumi, which embodies the exquisite beauty found in understated simplicity. As one Zen master succinctly put it, the simpler the life, the more profound the meaning. They deeply understood that by intentionally reducing mental clutter and prioritizing only the absolute essentials, they could cultivate a life that was not only more peaceful, but immeasurably more meaningful. 6. Trust in impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, not even your struggles. Among the most liberating of Buddhist teachings is the principle of impermanence, the profound understanding that nothing, absolutely nothing, lasts forever. This includes the struggles, the challenges, the fears, and even the triumphs you encounter. The universe itself is in a constant dynamic state of flux. This fundamental truth means that even your most tenacious overthinking patterns, your anxieties, and your fears are by their very nature temporary. They too will ultimately pass. The Buddha's teaching, all conditioned things are impermanent, strive on with diligence, invites us to cultivate a deep, abiding trust that everything, whether perceived as good or bad, will eventually transform. Overthinking frequently arises from an underlying fear of permanence, the pervasive anxiety that we will be irrevocably stuck in a difficult situation forever. But when we genuinely internalize and recognize the impermanent nature of all phenomena, we gain the profound capacity to release our grip on incessant worries. We can find a profound abating peace in the knowledge that circumstances will inevitably shift and change. Nothing is static, everything is subject to change. Understanding this fundamental truth empowers us to accept that even our deepest struggles will eventually subside, and therefore overthinking doesn't need to dominate the entirety of our lives. 7. Cultivate compassion. Extend kindness to yourself and others. Often our overthinking spirals are fueled by harsh self-criticism, judgment towards others, or a lack of understanding for the human condition. Buddhist teachings emphasize that compassion, both for oneself and for all beings, is a powerful antidote to a restless mind. When you practice self-compassion, you acknowledge your struggles without harsh judgment. You treat your own mind with the kindness you would offer a dear friend. This softens the internal critique that often triggers overthinking. Similarly, extending compassion to others, understanding that they too are navigating their own complexities, reduces the mental energy spent on resentment or comparison. The Buddha taught that true freedom comes from a heart free of ill will. By actively cultivating a compassionate mindset, you naturally create a more expansive, peaceful inner reality, transforming the very nature of your thoughts. 8. Embrace non-self. Release the illusion of a fixed identity. At the heart of Buddhist wisdom lies the concept of anatta, or non-self. This doesn't mean you don't exist, but rather that there is no fixed, unchanging, permanent self or ego that you must constantly protect, defend, or obsess over. Overthinking often arises from a desperate attempt to solidify an identity, to control how we are perceived, or to endlessly validate our existence. When we begin to understand that our thoughts, emotions, and experiences are all impermanent and interconnected, the need to cling to a rigid self diminishes. The Buddha said, "Form is emptiness, emptiness is form." This profound statement points to the interconnectedness and fluid nature of reality. By releasing the illusion of a separate fixed self, you free your mind from the immense pressure of maintaining an image or controlling external perceptions. This liberation from the ego's demands allows overthinking to naturally dissolve, revealing a boundless sense of peace and true purpose beyond individualistic concerns. Now that you've discovered these 8 transformative Buddhist principles to quiet the mind and cease overthinking, it's time for the profound shift from understanding to action. Embrace the present moment with open arms, consciously release the grip of unnecessary thoughts and concerns, and courageously simplify your life. Cultivate deep compassion for yourself and others, and trust profoundly in the impermanent nature of all things, knowing with unwavering certainty that nothing lasts forever, not even your most persistent struggles. Remember, the mind is an incredibly powerful tool. With consistent practice and unwavering patience, you possess the innate ability to train it to remain focused, to cultivate deep calm, and to find an abiding sense of peace. If you found this journey insightful and inspiring, I encourage you to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel for more transformative content, and generously share this profound wisdom with others who may also benefit from its timeless teachings. Let's continue on this path of mindfulness and inner peace together. Stay present, stay peaceful, and may you find profound tranquility in every single moment.